911
Been shot.
emergency.
Yes, the man's been shot. Please, immediately, please. This is Gianni Versace. We just heard gunshots. We went outside. He's on the steps of the house. Who would have done something like that?
It only takes one, a face in the crowd, a name in the DMs, a fan whose obsession curdled into something darker.
Regarding Rebecca Schaeffer, she was irreplaceable. I realized what I've done, and I feel a lot of tremendous guilt.
Stars who laughed off stalkers at meet and greets, who shrugged off death threats as part of fame, until the day a devoted admirer became the headline.
Christina Grimmie, the rising young voice star, gunned down at a performance.
21-year-old actress Rebecca Schaeffer was shot to death this morning.
Gianni Versace was murdered in broad daylight this morning.
Died not at the hands of enemies or strangers, but by the very people who claimed to love them.
She's just screaming. She's going, why?
This is the chilling truth about celebrities who were murdered by their own fans. How do you make millions feel seen with a song, only to be gunned down while giving a stranger a hug? Christina Grimmie uploaded bedroom covers in 2009. Within months, her smoky alto drew millions, leading to her indie EP Find Me, which charted at number 35 on the Billboard 200, and the album With Love. Tour slots with Selena Gomez followed, but she treated backstage selfies like family photos. On The Voice in 2014, her viral Wrecking Ball audition pushed her to the top 3 and earned Adam Levine's promise of a label deal, though it never came to fruition.
That is the moment where you realize that this person can be a huge star.
Offstage, she rescued shelter dogs, live-streamed piano requests, and wrapped filming for The Matchbreaker, all while crowdfunding and self-funding her side AEP, because art, she insisted, should sound like honesty. Fast forward to June 10th, 2016. Plaza Live, Orlando. After a set with Before You Exit, she stretched her arms wide for fans. Kevin James Loyable stepped forward, raised a Glock, and fired 3 shots: head, chest, chest. Brother Marcus tackled him. The gunman killed himself on the floor. Christina was pronounced just after midnight, homicide, age 22. Her family's Christina Grimmie Foundation now steers grants to victims of gun violence and families facing breast cancer. Yet each replay ends on the same suspended note: proof that a voice of kindness can be stolen faster than it rises. She wanted to play roles that mattered. Instead, she became one. Rebecca Schaeffer wasn't chasing flashbulbs. She had that unteachable softness, the kind that made you lean in. From modeling in Tokyo to sitcom fame as Patty on My Sister Sam, she made people feel like they knew her. Not just the girl on TV, but the girl next door, the one with the laugh that lingered. She turned down scripts that didn't feel right. She wanted to study film, go deeper, do something honest.
I love what I'm doing so much that I feel so confident. I feel so able to do a good job that's what makes me, I think, stay here.
There was industry talk of The Godfather Part 3. Her future was wide open, but someone else had been watching, obsessively, silently. July 18th, 1989. Rebecca answered her apartment door in West Hollywood, expecting a delivery. It was Robert Bardo. He'd tracked her through DMV records, crossing state lines from Arizona with a gun. When she smiled and said hello, he raised the pistol and shot her in the chest. She collapsed in her doorway. Why, was all she could say. She was gone in 30 minutes. Her murder stunned Hollywood.
She's just screaming. She's going, why?
It forced California to pass the first anti-stalking laws and led to the Federal Driver's Privacy Protection Act, reshaping privacy legislation across the country. Rebecca never got to choose her next role. But she changed the script. Forever. He shredded like lightning but laughed like a kid. A mad scientist of metal wrapped in cowboy boots and soul. Dimebag Darrell, born Darrell Lance Abbott, didn't just play guitar. He made it scream, dance, and bleed joy. Inspired by Van Halen and Iommi, he started young and never stopped, co-founding Pantera with his brother Vinnie Paul. Together, they rewrote metal's rulebook. Cowboys from Hell, vulgar display of power, far beyond driven. Each riff heavier, each solo sharper, each one a fist to the sky. But Dime was never just the music. He was the grin backstage, the prank king, the guy who'd hand you a drink and ask how your mom was doing. He lived wild, but played precise. And after Pantera, he and Vinnie formed Damage Plan, because the music still had more to say.
43, male inside the Alrosa on stage with a 33, shots still being fired.
Then came December 8th, 2004, Columbus, Ohio. A small venue, a loyal crowd. Just moments into the set, a man stormed the stage. Nathan Gale, armed, disturbed, and fixated. He shot Darrell 5 times, point blank, in front of his brother.
I just screamed as loud as I could, and bam, bam, bam.
3 others died trying to stop him. The gunman was killed by police, but the damage was done. Dime was 38. The world of metal didn't just lose a legend. It lost its beating, bourbon-soaked heart. He was laid to rest in a Kiss coffin, with Eddie Van Halen's original Bumblebee guitar beside him. Because even in death, Darrell was full volume. He didn't want to be idolized. He wanted to jam, and he gave us music that still echoes, louder than the silence that followed. She lit up the stage in sequins and sincerity, a voice like velvet, a smile like sunrise, and a future stolen before it bloomed. Selena Quintanilla-Perez didn't just sing, she transformed. From backyard gigs with her family's band, Selena y los Dinos, to Tejano royalty, she broke through a male-dominated world with grit, grace, and glitter. Como la flor, Bidi Bidi Bom Bom, Amor Prohibido. She made Spanglish feel like poetry and made bicultural kids feel seen. She won a Grammy for Best Mexican-American Album. She launched a fashion line. She was about to cross over into the English charts with Dreaming of You, which would become a historic #1 album after her death. But more than that, she remembered names, hugged strangers, and laughed with fans. She made everyone feel like family. And that's what made the betrayal unthinkable. March 31st, 1995. A motel room in Corpus Christi. She met Yolanda Saldivar, friend, fan club president, boutique manager, to retrieve financial records after discovering theft. Instead, Yolanda drew a gun. 1 bullet tore through Selena's shoulder, severing an artery. Selena ran, bleeding, to the lobby, still conscious, still fighting. She named her killer before collapsing.
We have a woman ran in the lobby, said she's been shot. She's laying on the floor in his blood.
She was pronounced dead at 1:05 p.m. She was 23. The world stopped. Radio stations went silent. Fans poured into the streets. It wasn't just a death. It was a rupture. But Selena never truly left. Her voice still dances at weddings, her face shines from murals, and her legacy sings through generations of Latin artists who now have a seat at the table she helped build. She wasn't supposed to die that day. She was supposed to change the world, and somehow she still did. He asked the world to imagine peace, and in the end, he was met with a gun. John Lennon was a revolution wrapped in round glasses, sharp-tongued, idealistic, impossible to pin down. From the chaos of Liverpool to the global glare of Beatlemania, he shaped music, culture, and protest with the same weapon, his voice. Help! Come together. Imagine. Each lyric carved from joy and trauma, wit and rage.
So hard to see, come together right now.
He left the Beatles, but not the spotlight. With Yoko by his side, he staged bed-ins, signed deportation papers with defiance, raised his son Sean, and wrote songs about pain, peace, and the hope that art could change the world. Then came December 8, 1980, New York City, the Dakota. Earlier that day, he signed a record for a fan, Mark David Chapman. That night, Lennon returned home with Yoko. 5 shots rang out, 4 struck him in the back and shoulder. He collapsed in the archway and was rushed to Roosevelt Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. He was 40. The man who gave the world a soundtrack for change was silenced by the very fame he used to build it. But John never really vanished. He lives in candlelit vigils, in murals, in marches, in every whispered chorus of Imagine. He wanted peace, and he gave us the words to believe in it, even now. He gave everything to the game. One mistake, one moment, and the world turned on him. Andrés Escobar wasn't flashy. He didn't play dirty. He was calm under pressure, composed under fire, a defender who led with respect, not rage. They called him El Caballero del Fútbol, the gentleman, because that's exactly who he was. In 1994, Colombia carried the hopes of a nation. Escobar, the heart of their defense. But in a tense World Cup match against the United States, a stray leg sent the ball into his own net. The team was knocked out. The headlines turned. So did the country. He flew home to Medellin, went out with friends, laughed, tried to move on. July 2nd, early morning, a parking lot outside a nightclub. Several men approached. Words were exchanged. Then bullets, 6 shots. Witnesses say that after each one, the shooter yelled, "Goal!" Andrés bled out before sunrise. 27 years old. The man who shot him was a bodyguard for cartel associates, reportedly angry about gambling losses tied to Colombia's elimination. He was convicted and served about 11 years in prison. But Andrés left something behind. A memory of grace in a brutal game. A quiet man who never pointed fingers. He wrote, "Life doesn't end here." And in the hearts of a grieving country, it didn't. He built a fashion empire from myth and metal mesh. Then he stepped outside for a morning walk and never came back. Gianni Versace didn't just dress the world, he reimagined it. Ancient Greek goddesses in leather, Baroque royalty in bondage straps. His runways weren't shows, they were declarations. Madonna, Elton, Diana, Naomi. He made icons feel human and humans feel iconic. He was bold, brilliant, impossible to ignore. And yet off stage, he was warm. Family first, deeply private, fiercely loyal.
911 emergency. Yes, man's been shot. Please, immediately, please. That's Gianni Versace. We just heard gunshots rewaying outside. He's on the steps of the house. Who would have done something like that?
On July 15th, 1997, at the height of his power, Gianni walked home from buying magazines. Just a stroll past the gates of Casa Casuarina in Miami Beach. Andrew Cunanan was waiting. A fugitive, a killer, 2 bullets to the head, no warning, no chance. Gianni collapsed on his front steps, blood on stone. He was 50. The motive? Still unclear. No personal link confirmed, just obsession, delusion, madness. The fashion world froze. But Versace didn't vanish. His name still blazes across the world in gold and Medusa. His sister Donatella took the reins. His legacy became legend. Gianni once said, "In the end, it's all about love." And that's what they remember. Not the gun, not the blood, the brilliance, the love, the fearlessness that made the world more beautiful, one daring stitch at a time. They opened their lives to the world, but never saw the danger coming from those closest to their fame. It's a haunting reminder. Sometimes the biggest threat doesn't come from a hater, but from a fan. Which case chilled you to the core? Share your thoughts below. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because these stories demand more than headlines. They demand justice for artists whose final moments were stolen by those who claim to adore them. Rest in power to every star taken too soon. May your memory outlive the violence. We may never comprehend such betrayal, but your light still pierces through the darkest corners of fandom. Thank you for watching, and stay vigilant. We'll keep uncovering these tragedies, because no autograph should ever be signed in blood.